Hello, my name is Nimrod, and I love guiding trips to the desert.
I live in Nazareth, Palestine.
And I live in Ofit, Israel.
You may have noticed that we use different names for the same piece of land.
This is because of the ongoing man-made dispute over there, which has divided our country into two peoples and two nationalities.
We're gonna speak about personal stories that will reflect the conflict effects on us somehow. 2014. I was sitting in my room scrolling down Twitter. It was filled with horrible news, horrific photos. On the one hand, there were supportive people who were praying and sending loving messages to the families back in Gaza. On the other hand, we had the unsupportive ones that were hating and ignoring the facts, denying what happened there. My heart was itching. The room was getting tighter with every tap on the phone. The air was getting heavier with every falling tear. It feels like yesterday.
2017. We were over at my grandmother's house. She is a Holocaust survivor and has told me many times about it. But this time, she decided to tell me about Independence Day. How finally, after being treated like less than dogs in the Holocaust, she, her sister, and the whole Jewish people were finally safe. But this safety didn't last long, only one day. And I remember being upset that my grandmother had to go through all this. And now more, just more. All of this because of politics, politicians, powerful people with their own incentives, and above all, I was mad at the Arabs that didn't agree to compromise back then.
15th of May, 2018. Grandpa or Grandpa. It was the 69th memory of the Nakba. I was at my grandparents' house. For 15 years, I was distracted and I didn't have the courage to ask him, how was it? How did you feel back then in 1948? How old were you when it all happened? 10, he answered. I felt powerless, useless. We were often physically attacked. They took our land, they took our home. It was mine. It was my father's and my father's father's. I was losing a bit of myself with every word that he spoke. The land belonged to us, and it still rings in my head. The land. What about the land?
In 2006, I remember being very confused after seeing my mother cry when my father told her he was being drafted to the war in Lebanon. When he was away, we had to run quite a few times to the bomb shelter. But to me it all seemed normal, because my mother used to tell me many children in Israel had to do it very often. And I thought to myself, what happens in Israel must happen in the whole world, right? Well, now I know that these things don't happen everywhere. But the present is a result of the past. And our past, and in our situation, the past between the two peoples is very, very complicated.
We both love our land endlessly and want to do the best for the sake of it.
And this is why we both first joined the FFI, Friends Forever International, to see different perspectives from the other side of the conflict.
It is an intense and interactive experience. It taught us that it's not about she, he, or we. It's not about he, she, or they.
It's about us.
We have different stories, different perspectives, different truths. And the list goes on and on. But despite all of these, we have still a lot of common.
And now we work together to make
the world a
better
better place.